Welcome to YorkZuki.com Insights. I wanted to share something that is really personal with me. My mother started a game lodge 21 years ago in South Africa. A game lodge, for those who are not from South Africa, is really a safari resort with wild animals, giraffes, zebras, nyalas, and so forth, where clients, tourists come, they relax, they engage with nature, and then they go home with hopefully wonderful experiences. She started it 20 years ago, but honestly, it was more of a hobby than a business. And when she passed away 5 years ago, I inherited it. Now, this is a business, or she thought it was a business, that was losing money every month. So we had to turn it around. So my wife Tamar, the lodge manager Promise, who also is a stakeholder in the lodge, and myself had to come up with a way to turn this business around. So I'm sharing with you 8 practical things that we did that sometimes weren't crystal clear as we were doing them. But hopefully they give you a little bit of inspiration if you are stuck or inherited or received or are with your own business and you are struggling. Obviously, the steps that we took are very much related to the hospitality business. So the first thing that we did is we dropped the prices to something ridiculous that really, where the price wasn't really an issue anymore. What that actually created is, first, people came again and again and again with many more. We're still not making a profit by any stretch, still losing money, but at least the losses were getting less. We're bringing income. And then something happened which we didn't really anticipate, is that people came back again and again and again. People reviewed much more. They started reviewing on TripAdvisor, on Google, on Facebook. They started becoming ambassadors for what we did because we were sharing that we were so grateful that they were booking us. And so that helped enormously in starting to generate the interest. The second thing is we start incentivizing people to write reviews across all platforms. When people come to a place and they leave, they spent money, they invested their time. Now they're going back to their normal lives, and they're too busy often to care about you until the next time when they feel they need a holiday. So we started asking them, giving them a little glass of a bottle of wine or something, just to do a review right there while at the game lodge. That helped enormously, and today I think we are, as of June 2020, we're ranked number 7th on TripAdvisor in game lodges in South Africa, in an area with over 280 lodges. The number 3 that we did is we asked specialist friends to barter their expertise against a free night's stay. For example, we were burning a lot of cash on electricity when we realized that a lot of our geysers, fridges, washing machine and so forth are burning tons. We had an electrician who came here, he stayed 2 nights, and in exchange he inspected all our gear. And now for what was really sense, on the geysers we put blankets. We removed from the rooms 2 geysers and we put a bigger one in the middle, which consumes substantially less electricity and has got more than enough water for everybody. Plus with the geyser blanket, or a heat blanket, we dropped our bills by 20%. That's real bottom line savings. Number 4, we looked at our fixed cost and our variable cost. And by that I don't mean in a fluffy sense. We really looked at exactly what we're buying. Stock control suddenly played a real role, not in not trusting our team, but in knowing exactly what it is we're spending on. We're buying beautiful body wash for the bath individually, and now we suddenly said, hold on, if we buy a much bigger, same quality, much bigger, but we refill it, we can save 30, 40, 60% on the cost. It makes a huge difference what you are holding in your stock room. Staff is our number 5 tip. Now we have amazing family, but we just can't afford just to have staff. We were struggling, completely underwater. And so what we did is we looked at training and introducing shifts much more. Before, the staff was working their asses off. And obviously that was costing us because we were paying by the hour with obviously a monthly kind of retainer approach. But by introducing shifts, you introduce more structure. And by training, you're now helping each staff member know exactly what their roles and responsibilities are. And funny enough, when they're clear about what is expected of them, they can do that job in less time, which means less hours worked, which means in the first years at least, it helped us enormously in reducing the costs. You know, this is more of a fluffy one, but our 6th point is make it an experience for your guests. We were always honest with each and every guest, thanks to amazing support from everybody, that they will only come back if they loved this stay. We are lucky and privileged to have a beautiful space, but even if your space is not perfect, it's the small touches that make a guest remember you and want to come back. It's the fact that you help them, you welcome them, that you show them around, you entertain them if they want to be entertained. Those little touches, it's a thank you that you really value the guest as a human being, that what they paid to relax here actually allows you to continue to do what you're passionate about. Makes a huge difference to the guest. And that is why I think we have such rave reviews. This number 7, we cleaned up our garage. That might sound funny, but we had a lot of shit piled up all over the place. Stuff, you know, old pipes, things that you think one day you might use. Now that doesn't have a physical cost, but when you see lots of junk, it actually creates a psychological cost of burden. You feel overwhelmed. You feel like there's too much to do. You want to unclutter your mind. At number 8, we looked at who is our client. Now, before you might argue, it's a hotel or a game lodge in our case, so we want to welcome everybody. But when you welcome everybody, your messages are diluted. Hey, everybody, we're open for business. Book us. Cute. But what if a message is, hey, do you have kids, grandparents? Do you want to celebrate a special day with your whole family and have a whole lodge completely to yourself? You can do that for less than the cost of going to a fancy restaurant in town. So now I'm targeting a specific group. Of course, we still get bookings left, right, and center. But by profiling who the typical client is who would enjoy the lodge best, we started developing a niche. And these families started coming back again and again and again. We have couples and families that come here 5, 6, 8 times. Number 9, the last one, is really a piece of advice. You know, when the debts are high, you don't know how to pay the bills, you know, you kind of continuously hope for a lucky break. You hope some fancy investor will buy you out. You really, and the thing, you know, guys, it takes years. It takes a couple of years, maybe a year if you're a bit lucky, to turn a business around. It doesn't just happen with a lucky break. So I know that all these tips only make a small dent in the headaches that you're currently facing. But small dent after small dent after small dent, and before you know it, you are reaching break even. So don't despair, have courage, bring a bit of clarity to your thought, start working on the various steps that I mentioned, and hopefully that will help you in your journey. Thank you for watching.